righty. Now, Susan Boatright, Reverend Susan Boatright. I'm just excited to have you here today. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I mean, do you hear those voices and these men and this woman and that drum? Let's give them an applause. Resonance, that's what I say. Good morning, everyone. I cannot tell you what a joy it is. I'm not going to need these. I can see. What a joy it is to be here with you today. I grew up in this church. I came here in 1986, so I grew up here. I might have gone away for a while, but this is home. Yes, it is. Full circle abundance. So what in the world does that mean? The definition of the word abundance are these things: to superabound in quality or quantity, to be superfluous, to be in excess, to exist or be at hand in abundance, to be great. Straighten yourselves up. To be great. A thing which comes in abundance or overflows unto one. To abound and overflow, to be abundantly furnished with, to have in abundance, to abound in a thing. Doesn't that sound like spring? Spring, to abound. Here's the one I love: to be in affluence, to be preeminent, to excel. To excel and exceed more than. I like this one too as the last thing. To furnish one richly so that he has abundance. To make abundant or excellent. How's that feel? Sit in that for a minute. Sit in that for more than a minute. So we're going to talk about some concepts that we've all heard and used, but I want us to think about them in a different way. The macrocosm. The macrocosm is the whole of a complex structure, especially the world or the universe. So name 5 things, anybody. Name one thing. Let's get 5 things way out there that are round and have full circle and are abundant. Let's hear it. Stars. Sun, planet. Moon, that luscious moon. 2 more.
Milky Way.
The Milky Way. It is sort of like this, isn't it? And what was the last thing I heard? Trees. Okay, well, we'll take it. But also I want you to think about this. Molecules. Who'd think of molecules way out there? And it's all abundance in real time. Are most, if not all, the things you just named circular or round and full of light? Think about when you look at a star, there's an aura around it. There's a circle of light around it, coming from it. Most of us think of the macrocosm, all that ever was or ever will be, created in the universe or heaven, as God. Source or God's stuff, all or love. And I like to think of God as that. Everything out there, even if you don't believe it was created from the Big Bang Theory, which happened 13.7 billion years ago, everything out there is something that is a universe, part of a universe that we live in, but more importantly, is ever expanding. And according to the Big Bang Theory, if that's what you wish to believe in, nobody's really sure how we all got started from a single point or the effects of quantum mechanics. It blew up like a giant balloon. It expanded, what they all agree on, is faster than the speed of light. So for today, just be willing to think of all that is out there as God. And everything out there we already know is abundant. Now, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. That's in Genesis 1. John 1 repeats it a little differently. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So when we're using words, we think of macrocosm, everything out there that was totally abundant, and also microcosm. But most of us think of microcosm as the opposite of macrocosm, but it isn't. You know what microcosm is? It is defined as a miniature of that larger thing. We are the microcosm. So the macrocosm, maybe you think of it as way out there, but it really is right here. It's right here in everything you see, everything around you, and everything within you. It's just a small part of the macrocosm. From the 15th century, they define microcosm as this: human nature or the human body as representative of the wider universe, man considered as a natural counterpart or of divine or universal nature. And from the Greek, it is the small cosmos. So now that we know where we are in the scheme of things, let's hear 5 things around us that are round and circular and here on planet Earth. 5 things. 1? The candles. 2? Me? Did someone say me? Yes! Yes, me, yes, me, yes, me. 5 other things outside this building. Let's think of 5 other things, round and circular. Wheels. What else? Rings. Right, rings. Anything else? One more. Yes, lights. And molecules. Why do I keep going back to that molecules thing? It's like, can't you get off of that? Well, I'm about to tell you. And I'm going to make this really personal. So, to bring this home, bring down the lights, please. And I want you all to close your eyes. I'm taking you all the way back. Go to that private theater screen right behind your eyelids. Behind your eyes, you are home. You are life itself. Molecules make up all of the fabric of life. Some are round, but in whatever shape, they are perfect, whole, and complete. When you were formed, each molecule was intelligent, brilliant from the moment of introduction of sperm to egg, a new entity, a cell formed. In the miracle of the joining, which happened in less than a day, the real sparks of you began to fly. That cell had within it the light of creation. Not an imaginary light, but real, visible light. When this joining occurred, you, as a miracle, became visible. Yes, right on time. Division of the cell, miracle upon miracle, specialization, genius, multiplication, expansion, expanding, specializing cells, each sparked with life and light, cooperating with one another, supporting, assisting, growing, expanding, perfecting, perfectly organizing, brilliant genius. These perfect moving dynamic circles of life and light became you. Perfect, whole, complete, unique, shiny you. And God as source, as omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient, infinite, eternal, created life, and you may believe with all of your heart that God created you. Your initial spark fell from the sky to become you. 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 Okay, now you can open your eyes. Those beautiful, bright, shiny, round, perfect eyes that you are. In 2019, a brilliant astrophysicist, cosmologist, and most recently the planetary scientist and author Neil deGrasse Tyson, who, if you've watched a moment of television, you've seen him there, said that these things about what we are and what we know. He echoed the voice of Carl Sagan and Dr. Ashley King, another planetary scientist, who said that most of the elements that make up the human body were formed in stars. He said, what we do know and what we can assert without further hesitation is that the universe had a beginning. The universe continues to evolve. And yes, every one of our body's atoms is traceable to the Big Bang and to the thermonuclear furnaces within high-mass stars that exploded more than 5 billion years ago. We are stardust brought to life, then empowered by the universe to figure it out. And we have only just begun. So anybody who knows me knows that I like to lie about my age. I am never going to claim to be 5 billion years old. When you were born, that light did not go out. It did not become a fiction or an historical fact. Every one of those trillions of little round cells that make up your body still shines. It grows, it cooperates, it supports, and behaves brilliantly. No matter what you say about your body, it does not hear you unless you say it enough times that you make that fable about yourself true. You are made of starlight. The original spark that made you came from the thought of God and will someday return full circle. No thought leaves its source. I'm going to say that many times after this, but I want you to hear this and understand what it means. No thought leaves its source. Whether God thought you and you came to this planet to expand God in essence and in real time, or whether you thought something and moved it out through you to expand into the universe, no thought leaves its source. God thought you whole, perfect, and complete. You have never left God no matter what you say. You were always and always will be a microcosm of the macrocosm, part of the God mind that thought you and from whom you are always a part. Not a part. Not God over here and me over here, but a part. Even when you don't think you are. And while you are here in this physical form, your perfection continues to expand, grow, and you make all things new. In Romans 12:12, it says, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect." And in Philippians 4:8, "Finally, brothers," and I would say sisters, "whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things." If God is abundance, within each of us is abundance, the pure potential of creation, of expansion. Still don't believe you are light? The scientists say there is enough electricity or electrical power or light energy in you to light a city. That's what they say. And this is where religion and science come together. We are miracles. We are the great mystery. If God is whole, we are whole. Each part and piece of us is working as a complete organism. When one part stops, if needed, and with enough time, another takes over to sustain life. And as the song goes, life goes on given the slightest chance. Because a thought never leaves its source. If God is perfect, we are perfect exactly as we are in the physical, and absolutely perfect in the spiritual. Nothing changes that. A thought does not leave its source. I told you I was going to say this a bunch of times, right? And if God is complete, then we are. Because a thought never leaves its source. One other little tiny concept I need for you to know. You can't give away what you don't have. Goody for you. You have it all. You have it all if you believe you do. And, as Ernest Holmes says, you get exactly what you believe. Exactly. So, I know this is heavy, so take a breath with me here. Blow it out. One more time. Blow in all those little molecules out. This means that God comes full circle in us, as us, and through us. With all of God's abundance around us, we only have to do these things. Acknowledge God's abundance. Be aware that we are a part of God and love ourselves as God does. Accept God's abundance as our own. Accept that if we have created anything unlike the abundance that we are and envision for ourselves, this is because a thought never leaves its source. And here's the good news, or the bad news as you want to look at it. I say it's the good news. We are wholly and completely responsible for what we see and have manifested in this earthly world. Every last single thing. We are wholly responsible for every single thing we see and have manifested in this world. There are no exceptions to this. This is a truth. Except that because a thought does not leave its source, as Ernest Holmes taught, we only have to do this one thing: change your thinking, change your life. Remember the story that Reverend Michael told about Ebby McDonald, the lady who had MS and who was to die from this disease within 6 months of being diagnosed? Remember that she healed herself by changing her thinking through forgiveness, and is still living 34 years later. That 6 months got real short. And we all know about Myrtle Fillmore, our beloved Myrtle Fillmore, who through prayer and affirmations healed herself and went on with Charles to teach unity principles and helped others to heal and to love themselves. Remember the lessons we got last week from Reverend Ed. Declutter, lose fear of finances, chart a future, and invite your shadow self to the light. Because through loving ourselves, we hold the keys to the kingdom. That's in our abundance statement that was up there. We hold the keys to the kingdom. All of that is about changing our thinking, changing your thinking, and changing your life. A thought never leaves its source. So, return to who you truly are. Return to who you were created to be. A perfect, whole, complete, magnificent offspring of the Creator God. The creator of the macrocosm and mirrored as me, the microcosm. Mirrored as you, the microcosm. We are the microcosm, the small world exactly from the stuff of our Creator. We are God's Big Bang. Return to the truth of who we are by denying everything and everyone who fails to tell us a story that we are anything less than divine, perfect, whole, and complete. Now, I don't care if it's your neighbor, if it's your husband or your wife or your partner, if it's your child or your boss. I don't care who that person is. I don't care what they say on the news about how awful we are as a human species. We, as living, breathing men and women of God, know better because we are better. Don't listen to that mess that someone puts on you. It is not your truth. So, the truth of who you are is within. I'm going to tell you that you are holy, magnificent, full of light, made of God's stuff, and in physical form, each cell renews you every 7 years. And in spiritual form, you are always, always, always whole, perfect, and complete. So, if you are an expanding miracle who has never left its source, then you move and live and have a perfect completion every day of your life. You are abundance, not abundant, because that suggests finality. You are abundance, constantly expanding, constantly superfluous, constantly excelling, constantly having more than abounding in this life. So return to the truth of who you are and what you are. Come through the doubts, fears, and uncertainties that you may currently be experiencing in your life by taking one step at a time, one thought at a time, back to the God stuff that you are. You can create anew in every moment. Change your thinking, change your life. In Proverbs 23:7, it tells, as a man thinketh, so is he. I say, as a man or woman thinketh, so is he. What you say, you embody. And what you embody, you manifest. And what you manifest is a direct reflection of what you think. Think with the God mind. Think with perfection. Think with wholeness. Think with completion. That is your true nature. And you will know the truth, and the truth is setting you free. Jesus said, I come that they might have life and that they have it abundantly. He was talking not about himself. He was speaking about the I am principle. God in all of us comes so that we may have life and have it as God does, abundantly. So if you desire to have life abundantly, it already means that you excel, you're affluent, you're overflowing. Then stand if you are able. And if you are not able to stand, stand if you are able. And if you are not able to stand, stand in that beautiful mind of yours, spiritually stand and say these things with me. And I want to hear you mean it. God is abundance.
God is abundance.
I am abundance.
I am abundance.
I live in full circle abundance.
I live in full circle abundance.
God is whole, perfect, and complete.
God is whole, perfect, and complete.
I am whole, perfect, and complete.
I am whole, perfect, and complete.
I live in full circle abundance.
I live in full circle abundance.
I am made whole, perfect, and complete because I am made in whole, perfect, and complete because the thought never leaves its source. The thought never leaves its source. One more time. The thought never leaves its source. I come full circle to the truth of who I am. I come full circle to the truth of who I am. I return to my God self. I return to my God self. I live in full circle abundance. I live in full circle abundance. And so it is. And so it is. Amen. 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 And amen. Thank you. Thank you. Please have a seat. One last thing, I promise. Ricky Byers wrote this glorious song that we are going to see on the screen behind me. It's called Return to Me. Quite frankly, that says it all. Hopefully, it will soothe your soul as it does mine. The words will be on the board right here, and just join in as you feel your spirit move you to do so. This, by the way, is the Agape International Choir.
But we're doing it in a
Los Angeles,
special way.
California.
Darcy and Romina from the Silent Light Ministry came and taught us American Sign Language. We were inspired to really begin to communicate in a way that's inclusive for our deaf community and deaf communities all over the world. So we just want them to know that we get it, that we're opening up, we're learning, and we celebrate the life of Gio at the same time. Gio passed away just about a month.
Return to me, return to me, with every breath, return, and begin with me, with every breath, return.
This is God's prayer. This is God's prayer to you.
Return to me, return to me, with every breath, return, begin with me, with every breath, return to love, return to love, with every breath, return, in hand, begin with love, with every breath, returns to love, with every breath, return, begin with love, with every breath, return to peace, return to peace, with every step, return, begin with peace, with every step, return,